So this is Phantom Electric Ghost, and we're talking live from our home studio. And today we've got the Akai Force here. You can see. Hopefully, yeah, you can see it. And we're going to be getting into that. But so it's part of our whole idea of doing Dawless recording. And so Dawless recording is that you use a device like this Akai Force, which is I waited a while to get into this because now it actually has the Ranger mode in 3.1 where it's got the ability to stream audio. It's got all kinds of effects that you can chain. You can actually use the Ranger mode to actually compose the way we like to compose. Because what's cool about this machine, it's got all these pads, and these pads allow you to actually play the software engines inside of it. And it's one of the engines now is a Mellotron. It's got an ARP 2600. I was able to download like Chord Kronos, a bunch of guitars. So I do kind of what I do on my Roland with this now. And I can use the sampler to actually sample like piano, bring it in, and then use the Mellotron and play the keys on here to do the Mellotron. So that's something I really got into. So we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsor. Newsly is an app that you can get on iOS or Android, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So it picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. So you can browse articles on the topics you choose. You can stop playing, you stop scrolling, start listening. So they have podcasts as well as trending podcasts from over 40 countries. And our podcast, Fam Electric Ghost podcast, is on there. So if you use the promo code Ghost 2021, and you can see it scrolling below, Ghost 2021, you can receive a 1 month free premium subscription. So check that out, and then we'll get back into what we're talking about. So we've got our own merch and stuff as well. So we're going to kind of get into our merch store. And you can get that if you check all of our links, and we'll actually give you this is the Shopify link. So the Shopify link has the t-shirt I'm wearing right now with the ghost on it. You can see that. And as well as a hoodie version of this, and a poster from our Peg Bedroom Producer Festival. And we also have a mask now. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to get into a song we did and hope it plays, and then we're going to get into a live demonstration of what you can do on the Akai Force. So we got this song we wrote called Never Trust a Meme. We got it queued up here. We're going to try to play this and hopefully we won't have a problem. So we're going to get it queued up, and then we'll come back on the backside and talk about using this. We have a brand new record coming out on the 12th of November called Drop Gangster. And we're going to kind of show how we actually built that song using the Akai Force and the Zoom LiveTrak L8. But here's an example of a fully realized track called Never Trust a Meme, which is actually going to be on Drop Gangster. So here we go. We're going to play it right now. Yeah, we're having a, let me try it. What were you supposed to be? What was I supposed to believe? I should never trusted your meme. You're everything to be. And now what are we supposed to be when you were easy day and here? I should never trusted your meme. So unsightly, unclean. And what was I supposed to be? I should never trusted your meme. It was just a wet dream. Wet dream. Never could be. So unsightly, so unclean. If
He, she, they, and he. You're supposed to be my queen. Yeah, what wrong with he, she, they, and he? They doing in that scene. Aren't you supposed to be my queen? So why was I supposed to do that white dream? Supposed to do? I should never trusted boo. You told me you were only for me. Now, what's love supposed to be? Just another wet dream. You're supposed to be me. You're supposed to be in that sun. I should've never trusted your meme. What he, she, they, and he. When you're supposed to be my queen. You're supposed to be my dream. And so unsettling.
Well, we'll come back. It looks like having some kind of streaming issue. You know, it's COVID time. Things don't work the way they're supposed to. So we'll show an example of how to actually do this live. So we'll cut out the video. We'll do that later. It might be because we're doing a virtual webcam, as you can see. We're using OBS virtual webcam. And we are doing another Peg Bedroom Producer Festival in February. But it looks like, so what we can do here is we actually have an app called Camo, and we're using the iPhone to actually, on a tripod, looking at the Akai Force. And then we've got a Zoom Q8 camera looking at me from over here, where you see the mic, looking at me dead on. That's the Q8. And then straight on is the laptop camera. So it allows you to do a 3-camera shot, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to get into now is we're going to go into using my VT4 and go to the Phantom voice.
This is a Phantom Electric Ghost, and we're going to do Drop Gangster. So when we do Drop Gangster, what's going on here is we're actually using the lanes on the Akai Force, and there's a bunch of stuff set up here. We're not using a Ranger mode for this. We're using the lanes and launching clips. So we're gonna start it. What crime will I do to my boo? What crime I'm gonna do until the paper blue? Drop gangster. Drop gangster. Drop gangster. For my boo, I do girlfriend, I'll do that do. The techno load. Where's techno crew? The techno rules. It's techno crowd. It's techno crew. I do it, girlfriend, and I'll do that do, cause I'm drop gangster. Drop gangster. What's wrong will I do? To my boo, slime boo. I do it and a girlfriend too. And I don't do that, dude. I'm a techno rude. I got to do you after school. I'll do you when I do. I'll do you when I do. 'Cause I'm techno cool. I drop gangster. And no rules. It's for your crew. I'll do you and 3 other dudes. What crime will I do? You techno rude. I do your Busan cool. I do your Busan troll. Drop gangster. It's techno crew. There's expansive sound rules. I do you and those dudes. I do you and those dudes. I do your girl and a girlfriend too. What crime will I do? Because techno crew, techno rules. Yeah, I'm the drop gangster. Yeah, I'm the drop gangster.
I do your girlfriend and your girlfriend boo. I do your girlfriend and I'll do you too. Cause Johnny's a drop gangster. A drop gangster. I do your girlfriend and your girlfriend boo. I do you. Cause I'm techno cruel. You know I don't follow rules. It don't smell electric, I'll do you and you do. Because what? Cause I'm a drop gangster. Drop gangster. Drop gangster. What crime will I do? I do your girlfriend and your girlfriend boo. You know, I do techno rules. Expensive sound can't be cruel. Drop gangster. Drop gangster.
I'm gonna do it 'cause expensive sound can be cruel. Gonna do you and your boo. Because expensive sound can be cruel. Drop gangster. Drop gangster. Dawless can be cool. You know, techno rules. What crime will I do? What crime will I do? What crime will I do? To my girlfriend and her boo. To a girlfriend and her dude. Because this sound can be cruel. You know it, drop the rule. A drop gangster. I do and Hoodie. A dude the techno can't be cruel. Techno can't be cruel, spin the soundproof. How do you do? How do you and those dudes?
And so that's using a VT4 in real time with my voice and the show that's
Real time,
Yeah, this is Miss Josephine Electric. And, I like to get into it with all the dudes and the dudettes. Yeah,
I really like it because it's fine. I think I'm a little fine too. But it's Josie. Josie likes it. Josie likes to do it in any way possible. Cause that's the kind of girl I am. I just get into it. Yeah, Josie's leaving. But we just like to be able to use our expansive sound. So part of it is being able to become other people, like Phantom and Josephine or Stephanie. And I play characters in my music. And for a long time, we just use a lot of our hardware stuff that you see over there, like the Moogs and the Rolands over there. But now we're getting into the new era with this Akai Force and using this L8. And we still have our Zoom R24 over on the other side. And we do stuff with it because there's still some things you can do when I want to do live performance and I want to do the keys. Now, we just did a live thing where we're launching clips and using the VT4, using the L8. We're also using a Soyuz launcher for our voice. So we've got our VT4 going through a Soyuz launcher, going into an L8, and then we have all the goodness of the L8, got good headroom. And then we get an Akai Force. And then what we're doing is the L8 is being used to podcast. So it's got one channel going in, picking up stuff off of the computer. And then it's got another channel going, picking stuff off the Akai Force. It's bringing in the information from the VT4. So it's all good. It's like a lot of cool stuff. And we looked at other solutions, but we kind of like the mixer like format of the L8. So you can really see what's going on from a mixer perspective. And also we like recording. As we said before, what we like to do is we'll use a method to actually launch these clips and then directly record into the L8. Now we can go into arranger mode and we're going to try that. We're going to try going into arranger mode. So we're just going to try to see if we can get into a project. So we're going into a browser, going to go into our project. It's a touch screen here, so it's pretty cool. But sometimes it's you got to go you got to figure out where you are. See, if you did your own project, you got to go into like force documents, and then you got to go into projects because there's a different project that has a bunch of projects that are already in there from Akai. If you want to get to your own, you got to go into internal, and then in internal, I got a bunch of projects here, and I'm trying to get one where I actually used a sample off the Roland, and then I used the new Mellotron in 3.1. As I said, they have a Mellotron instrument, and they have the ARP 2600 and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm trying to see which project I actually have. Thing I was trying to do. Yeah, let's hope this is it. See if I can load it. See if I got the Mellotron on this like I'm supposed to. And then I see if I can launch the clip. So what's cool about the arranger mode is it lets you take all the lanes from your launches if you've actually set them up, and then kick off the arranger and then kick off clips, and it'll actually record the clips. So if you go into matrix mode, let's see if we actually have, yeah. So we actually have a Mellotron here. What I love about this thing is the fact that you can play it. You know, it's not just like a DJ thing. You can actually play the software, and these keys are really good. And once you figure out, and it has some cool features, like if you have a guitar, it sets up a pattern where there might be like you kind of, you're doing closed strings, or you're kind of muffled strings, or you're doing a little feedback, or you're doing a little like a slide down, or you're sliding kind of like Supernatural. They've got these things kind of set up like a Roland Supernatural. So there's different formats when you get into if you go into the notes, they will actually change. You can see it changes the patterned grid on what you can do. So in the pattern grid, you have chords, you have progressions, you have tonettes, you have guitar, which has like the guitar aspects, but not here because it's a string, bass, piano, and chromatic, and scales. So it's very useful. So for harmony, if you want the full picture of the sound, the harmony works really good. Now we're going to try to get into our sample that we did. So we did a sample of us playing live on a Roland Juno GI. So we're going to try to bring that up. And we got it in their sample library. Yeah. So here's the sample. So we're trying to get this attached to a particular key. So we got to attach the AO1. We're going to try to do it and see if we can actually launch it. Get out of this. Get it back. So what we wanted to do is we want to launch that clip and then get it going, but sometimes it's not doing what we want, so it's kind of a pain. So maybe we can get in here. Here we go. We launched the clip. We figured it out, and now we turned on our. So they got that clip going. We can actually take this little dial and turn it up. Now we're going to go in and actually do the Mellotron. So that was an example of actually using it as an instrument, using the mellotron, and actually what I had a sample that I actually played my Roland Juno GI 88 key grand piano, put it down on an SD card, came over to my ThinkPad, put it on my ThinkPad, and then used the Zoom L8 to actually track it. And I used like SoundCloud mastering to make it sound a little better. And then I took my line outs from my L8, put them into the line ins of the Akai, and then turned on the sampler, set it to, line 1 and 2, and set the sample to size to actually record it for up to 6 minutes. So I got a 6-minute sample of my piano, brought it in as a sample, kick it off, and then you play the mellotron as a separate track over it. Now, the one thing I found that's kind of frustrating so far in my force is, assigned it to a drum track is what you do. I can get it to launch, but once I launch it, for some reason I can't stop it. And so if somebody could like send me a note on my Instagram, like Fam Electric Ghost, or even a comment here or on YouTube when you see the video, is on the Akai Force. Once I got a large sample, like a 6-minute sample, I can launch it and I can put tracks over it. But when I tried to bring it into the arranger, it doesn't seem to be able to control it. I can get it to play. It doesn't seem to record it. And also I can't stop it. I have to let it play through the whole length of the song. And the way I'm capturing it is I'm actually capturing it on the L8 instead, which I know is not right, because I can internally get other stuff. And I don't know, maybe because I made it too long. But I would think that you should be able to control it. So I did something wrong. I'm still learning this thing. I can get compositions, of internal stuff that's, internal instruments to work, and even external instruments on the SD card, like a bunch of chord Kronos guitars. I brought it in on an SD card and I figured out how to assign that to a track. It took a little bit to figure it out. But getting this sample on the drum track, I can get it on the drum track. I can launch it off the drum track. I just can't get the stop button or the stop all or the clip stop to stop it. So I'm wondering, is there some kind of problem? Is that a known issue, or is that something that, I need to fix? I can get around it because I'm such a manual guy. I just figured out how to work around it and still record it the way I want. You're doing this kind of manual workaround, but it would be cool to actually take that piano clip and actually have it fully attached to a track. I think it's because it's such a long sample, it's not really gonna fit in a lane. When I have tried to put it into a lane, then it gets, limited in its size. So I think like in arranger mode, the best I can do is, get it to play, but for some reason it's not like recording the sample into the arranger correctly, unless I did it wrong. I thought I caught it one time. I have to check it. For some reason, when I went to play it from the arranger mode, it seemed to have disappeared. So that's just the question. But it's still a pretty cool instrument. What I like about this is it gets me into the world of like clip launching, and it allows me to do some things that I wasn't doing because I was manually, putting down tracks on my R24 is how I record, just putting tracks down. I might use sequencers to put multiple tracks into, one track. So I do have some things where I have over there. I have a Beat Step Pro. I've got, sequencer inside the Mother 32. There's a sequencer in the DFAM. And so I do have some assistance with the sequencing. And so I have multiple sequencers running things. In the original version of the song that's out, there's a sequence that's done on a DFAM that gives me the kind of like click track. But instead of just doing a click track, I use the DFAM to build this kind of percussive synthesis to give me like a reference point for the rhythm of the song. So then I start playing the chords and I have like this click track, but the click track isn't really a click track. It's actually percussive analog synthesis from a DFAM. So I know I'm getting to a lot of technical stuff today, but it's just like real time use of this machine is pretty cool because now what I've discovered is like, oh, I could actually have up to a 15-minute audio sample, and then I could have other tracks or other instruments set up for this so that I could actually go and play a live performance with this, not a canned performance. Like what I just did was a live performance using the sample for the keyboard. And I could have brought in the drum track from the DFAM. So I could have done that, or I could have built my own drum track or whatever. But it's cool because you can use this now in 3.1. You could have like, a drum machine, like a 909 coming in and have that playing and then play over it, which is kind of cool because I know it does disk streaming. Now we haven't gotten the SSD into here. We're thinking of getting like a 2 terabyte a solid state drive in here and then trying some things out. And we haven't tried the CV either. We are thinking of potentially getting a bunch of make noise stuff like either we're going to go back and get the DFAM, a Mother 32 and a subharmonicon and then have those go into this, or we were going to get like the make noise trio of the Zero Coast, Zero Control, and the new Strega. So either one of those, if somebody has a preference, tell us which one they think. We already have a DFAM and a Mother 32, but they're on the other side of the room, and then it's hard to move around. Not that I'm lazy, but I got no room over here. And it's just smaller. The Zero Coast would fit on my desk better. And so I could actually get that with a little stand and hook it up and have something different going into it. And I was thinking of that. I hope this episode people can hear it. We had a problem with the previous one. And we're sorry about the YouTube video. For some reason, I think my daughter's probably streaming Netflix and I can't get the bandwidth. This morning I had the bandwidth, and as soon as everybody else got on the net, then I lost it. So that's something to learn when we do the festival. I was like, if I want to try to do something complicated, well, like if I'm doing live performances, no problem. So I can do a live performance, and now it's cool that I can use this to do a very unique performance. And what I would think I'm doing, like if I do a live performance this year, I might do it from here and then hook up my grandmother and have my grandmother coming through this too. Or having it going into directly into my, well, the grandmother might have a problem. Well, I don't think so. I think I can bring it into the audio lines that are normally for mics. The analog instruments can go into the mic inputs on the L8, but like my Roland Juno has to go in input 7 and 8. I tried to put it into 1 through 6 and it wouldn't work. And that's kind of disappointing because if you use like a ZR24, you can use all the inputs can go into all the tracks. So then if you want a multi-track, multiple stereo instruments, you have like 7 and 8, but then you can't move it around. So that's kind of a pain, but the way to work it around it, well, there's no real way to work around it. I found it. So I still use the ZR24 for certain things. But I'm trying to figure out how to use this Akai Force as a recorder because now it has that ability, but I'm not sure if it's really set up that way. I haven't figured out how to use it. So, I know 3.1 just came out. I wish somebody would run a full tutorial on how to actually get it to record like an R24, if it can do that. I'm not sure it can do that. But I know it does, step sequencing, and I know he can do, basically the Ranger mode is that, and I guess that's the way you're supposed to do it. But I don't know if there's explicit, way to multi-track outside of a Ranger. I guess a Ranger is the way to do it. But if there's another way to do it, let me know. Okay, but this is it. I'm going to have to go and do some other work today. But I wanted to get this out to show my use of the Force in a different way. And one of the other things that was cool here, again, is the fact that I'm using OBS virtual web camera. And we're using a Q8. We're using camo with a iPhone XS Max. And we're also using our ThinkPad camera. So all 3 cameras from different perspectives you're seeing. And then we're using the Soyuz launcher, which is really awesome. And the Zoom L8 and the Akai Force. So this was all in the Roland VT4. So we're using a lot of hardware, which not everybody has access to. But I just think it's interesting to kind of merge these worlds. Uh, I ended up getting the Akai Force. I really wanted a Phantom, but I wanted to get into this world of clip-based recording, DAW kind of recording, but not have a DAW. And this has kind of like been a really good thing for me. I have a whole brand new record called Drop Gangster, which we did like a kind of pseudo track from today. It's totally different than what's on the record. We kind of just freeformed it from the clips that made up the track. But I think it's this is a really cool instrument, and like it inspired me like when I got my teenage engineering OPZ to do a whole record using it. So basically, if I haven't said it before, we used the Q8, we used the Zoom L8 LiveTrak in combination with the Akai Force and the Soyuz launcher and a Roland VT4 to record this album we call Drop Gangster. And it is primarily done with all these instruments, not done in the DAW. We didn't go back in the DAW and do any correction. Everything's kind of live tracked through doing like either Ranger mode or clip mode, kind of in real time track into the L8. And it's just the way we like to record. It gives it some spontaneity, some looseness, and some kind of like heart to it, which is expansive sound is what I'm trying to do. If I've talked to people when I do interviews, that's what expansive sound is about. Now, business wise, before I go, would like people to support the podcast by going to my Shopify and getting a t-shirt or getting a hoodie, because it helps us interview people for free and keep the channel going. Because we actually have to pay fees to keep this channel going for StreamYard, and right now we just supplement it. But if you can support with the t-shirt sales, that would be cool. So you get something out of it. We think it's a pretty cool design. My daughter created this logo of the ghost. It's a pretty cool design. We think people get into it. You can see the logo that you see up on the screen is actually on the back of this. So it's on the hoodie, and it's on the t-shirt. So we think you might dig it. In addition, if you go to our SoundCloud or go to our Spotify, you can hit the PayPal me link for the COVID support for artists. We would suggest that you do that for any artist you like or you really want to support. Go to their Spotify or their SoundCloud, and if they've set that up, you can actually do a one-time donation. And we have that also. You can go to Anchor FM for our Josephine version of the podcast, and you can subscribe to our podcast there if you want to help us out. So that would be very much appreciated. We are going to be interviewing the Soap Girls tomorrow around 10:30 a.m. U.S. time, 4:30 p.m. South African time. And we've talked to them back on the audio podcast. So we're happy to talk to them again. And we'll talk to you all later. Thank you very much for watching the show again. Please support the podcast however you want to, through either subscribing, PayPal me on our Spotify or SoundCloud, or buy a t-shirt on Spotify. If you go to our Instagram at Phantom Electric Ghost or Expansive Sound Experiments, you can hit our profile link and you'll see all of our links and where to go to the Shopify directly. Our Shopify store is also on our Facebook for Phantom Electric Ghost. If you go into our Facebook, you can find our store. It's also on our Instagram. If you go into our store, we take PayPal, we take major credit cards. So check it out. We would appreciate it.